You've seen it everywhere, right? In grocery stores, at the gym, all over your social media feed. Coconut water has absolutely exploded in popularity, and it's being sold as this ultimate natural health drink. But with all that buzz, you kind of have to wonder what's real and what's just really good marketing. So let's dive in and separate the hype from the reality.
And that's really the big question we're going to tackle here. We're going to cut right through all the noise, take a look at the actual science, and figure out if coconut water is truly some kind of miracle beverage or if it's just another trend that's been a little overhyped.
Okay, so first up, let's look at the hype. Because it's not just clever marketing. Some of the claims made about coconut water are pretty wild. They paint this picture of a drink that can, well, seemingly do it all.
And we're not just talking about wellness blogs here. The scientific community has actually taken notice. For example, a big review in the Journal of Pharmaceutical Research International put together this huge list of all the different properties that people attribute to coconut water.
I mean, just look at this list. The claims are pretty incredible. The review mentions everything from being antibacterial and antiviral to being an anti-inflammatory and even an antioxidant. There's even talk of it being anti-diabetic and protecting your heart. It's basically presented as this natural jack-of-all-trades. And this is where that whole superfood argument really comes from.
So, with all those claims flying around, where does the science actually land? Well, the best place to start is with its most famous and scientifically backed benefit, hydration.
Now, a huge reason for this is that coconut water is what's called a natural isotonic beverage. All that really means is that its mix of electrolytes, especially potassium, is super similar to our own body fluids. That makes it incredibly efficient at rehydrating us, after a tough workout or just on a really hot day.
But here's the thing, not all coconut water is created equal. There's a really big difference between what you get fresh from a coconut and what comes in a carton. See, natural coconut water is pure, but its good stuff can change really fast once it hits the air. So companies package it, but that process often involves adding other ingredients that can make it cloudier and totally change its nutritional profile. So what you're buying in the store might be pretty different from what comes straight from the source.
All right, so beyond just basic hydration, the research has actually dug up a surprisingly specific and potentially really powerful health benefit. It's probably not something you'd even think about, but for a lot of people, it's a huge deal.
Yep, we're talking about kidney stones. A study published in Biomed Research International decided to test this exact question. They looked at how drinking coconut water affects the key things in your urine that are related to stone formation.
And the results were pretty remarkable. In this study, people who drank coconut water saw their urinary citrate levels go up by an average of 29%. Now, why does that matter? Well, citrate is a powerful natural blocker of kidney stone formation. So more citrate means a lower risk of those painful stones developing.
But wait, it gets even more dramatic. That same study found that urinary potassium levels shot up by a massive 130%. High potassium also helps prevent stones by making your urine less acidic. This is a really significant finding that goes way beyond just, it helps you hydrate.
Okay, so we've seen the hype and we've seen some genuinely impressive science. But now it's time for our reality check. Coconut water isn't some perfect magic potion for everyone. And remember that question we started with about it being sugar water? Well, while the sugar is natural, it's not calorie-free, and it's definitely something to be aware of, especially when you compare it to just plain old water.
So let's look at why most people drink it, as a sports drink. One study put it head-to-head with a standard sports drink for athletes after they exercised. The results? It didn't give them any performance advantage, and it was pretty much the same for hydration. But here's the kicker. The athletes actually reported way more bloating and stomach upset with the coconut water.
And this right here is probably the most serious warning. You know that massive amount of potassium, the thing that's so great for preventing kidney stones? Well, it can actually be risky for other people. As one health expert pointed out, older adults especially need to be careful. Too much potassium can potentially mess with heart function, particularly for anyone who already has heart or kidney conditions.
So, after weighing all the hype against the actual reality, what's the final verdict? Is coconut water a go or a no-go? Well, like with most things in nutrition, the real answer is, it depends.
Let's just break it down with this simple guide. If you're an athlete, sure, it's a perfectly fine way to rehydrate, but you gotta watch out for that potential stomach upset. If you're someone who gets kidney stones, the science suggests it could be incredibly helpful for you. But if you're an older adult or anyone with heart or kidney issues, that really high potassium level is a serious thing you need to talk to your doctor about.
So at the end of the day, coconut water isn't a magic bullet, but it's also far from being just simple sugar water.
It has very specific, science-backed benefits and some equally specific risks. The real question is how it fits, or maybe doesn't fit, into your own personal health needs.